somebody was getting them out. Yeah, I do. LUSD. Yeah. Loomis Union School. Yep. Little Loomis.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Mic check 1 2.
Yeah. Yes, thank you.
Good morning.
How are you? Good to see you. Okay. Yeah, we're all skipping a drum at each other.
All I saw was pictures of all these grand speakers and celebrating. What's the
Okay. Yay.
How you doing?
No way.
Sorry, I'm just short of hands. Would you mind just putting it on top?
Starting with the food.
Just don't want to.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna put my folder here. Yeah. And then I'm just thinking. Yep.
We should know each other. Since he gave you some money.
Yeah, okay.
Since he gave you some money. I know you're on the green side. Like, send the money.
The California food drive going on. And so we have our food truck table out there. We donate to Joey's Food Bank. Yeah, so.
Definitely need everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ours, we've been doing this for a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We fund our food drive right early and we donate right after Thanksgiving. Like we know that they after Thanksgiving it's like everything about the show. Here's a restock.
It's a restock.
Yeah.
Yeah, so help me.
Yeah, so we do that there because it's through.
Oh, yeah, well, right.
We can support a good program.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have a lot of yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, is it hard to sell food? Like, so much.
I'm going to do that.
And then you're like, okay, so Monday.
Yeah, I was at my ice. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they told us that. Yeah. She was really cool. Yeah.
We programmed all county.
And what did you start in that kind of work?
I know.
You prepared hard work. And you're like, you know what? People ask
So
you
many,
to come into
it's like in West Sacramento, just in all the road things. Davis.
Definitely a quick
Well, my in-laws live
start.
we were quite a lot. But you're right, there is a lot of construction, but it will be better.
It will be something. They always say, they did a study, all of the time you spend with your the hours you spend. I live in the LA area.
Yeah, the ring around downtown LA is like, I haven't seen that all.
I could imagine.
Yeah.
I used to live up here in Pleasanton, and so when I would like drive to Sacramento, but then I would also drive to like San Francisco. Sparks, there you go. So,
Oh,
through
right.
there,
Yeah.
through the Tri-Valley. So, I was like,
Barn construction is not a quick process.
no.
I went to Hong Kong once for work for maybe about a week, and they were announcing how they were going to build a bridge from Hong Kong to Macau. You can't see the end of it. All the clearance for days, and they just did it. They were still going to see
These? Okay.
Thank you all for your patience. We'll start in just one moment. We're waiting until we're live on Facebook, and Michael, we can go live now. Right, good morning. My name is Liz Sanderson, the Director of Communications here at the California Department of Education in Sacramento. We are very glad to be here with you this morning with an important announcement from our State Superintendent, Tony Thurmond. Without further ado, I will introduce our Chief of Staff, Chief Deputy David Shapira, to provide some important context for us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is David Shapira. I'm Chief of Staff for the California Department of Education, and I want to start our announcement off this morning by providing a little bit of context about why we're here today and why this is still such a critical and important moment for us to be seeking this waiver. So I think you're probably all aware that there's been some recent legislative action as well as some recent court rulings, but in spite of that, the Trump administration is continuing to push back, trying to claw back SNAP benefits, and as recently as a few hours ago, notifying the Supreme Court that they would like to overturn the stay and be able to withhold SNAP benefits even right now in the month of November. So there is clearly still a great deal of uncertainty. The Trump administration seems to live by Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. So in spite of the fact that things seem to be starting to move in Congress, it really seems like this is not a time to sit idly by and just wait and hope that the legislative and judicial processes will result in providing meals that have been promised to children in need. So we are taking this action now, seeking this flexibility from the U.S. Department of Education to ensure that our students do not go hungry this holiday season, regardless of what happens in the coming days and weeks in Washington. And so we are thankful for the leadership of our state superintendent, who is someone who knows personally how this can impact a child and a family. And so we're Excited to hear from him this morning about this action that the Department of Education is taking today. I'll turn it over to State Superintendent of Public Instruction, Tony Thurmond.
Thank you, Superintendent Shapira. Thank you, Liz. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I think David laid it out pretty clearly. While there are a lot of moving parts and legal arguments, do we help families in need or not? The reality is that there are great needs. And it's heartbreaking that there would be any debate about whether or not we help families in need. If you put it in context with 5 million Californians using SNAP, 2 million of them children, we have to move urgently. No matter what happens in the conversations in Congress, someone is going without. Our federal employees have gone without, and those who collect SNAP go without. As you heard from Mr. Shapira, it's not lost on me how important these benefits are. My family used food stamp coupons to help us work through challenges. Being raised by someone who worked as a nurse's aide and growing up in a household where we were trying to work our way through poverty. That's where most Americans are. They're just trying to work their way through a very difficult time, and we've got to do all that we can to help them. I do want to acknowledge that we have present today a representative from the office of Senator Ashby, who represents this area, and we appreciate your presence here today and the Senator's leadership. I want to acknowledge one of our students in the great state of California who's been advocating for protecting immigrant families, who stopped me in the Capitol one day to check in with me about a bill, SB 98, that's now been signed into law that gives notification to our immigrant families and protects them. And he is a 7th grader who has the day off from school, as he let me know, and he has chosen to be here today on his day off, continuing to advocate for other young people in our state. And after this is over, I'm going to give him a tour of the office upstairs where he's going to work, because one day he's going to be the state superintendent. Please welcome Mac, who's here today from West Contra Costa Unified School District, and his top advisor, his dad, is here as well. Thank you for being a great student leader and for lifting up the importance of our students. You know, during the pandemic, our schools provided more than 800 million meals to help hungry families. We had to get waivers to do it then, and we're asking for those waivers now. We want to be able to give a grab-and-go meal. It shouldn't take that much, but it can make that much of a difference. We also want to be able to provide meals to the siblings of other children who are too young to be in school, but we wouldn't look away and say, sorry, you're not in school. And so the federal government can give the flexibility to help our schools, help our families. Our school districts are doing just that. They're doing incredible things. They're finding ways to leverage every single public resource that is available to provide more to families who heard last week that they'd only get half of their SNAP benefits. And, you know, and that means something, to only get half. And so things are changing, but still, we know that there are gaps, and I want to commend all of our school districts for all that they are doing to help our schools, our students, and our families during this time of need. That's what today is about. We have to help the 2 million children who rely on SNAP. We have to help families who have gone without, and we have to address the uncertainty that exists about waivers and about flexibility. And we continue to call on the Trump administration to provide these waivers immediately. Provide these waivers immediately. These aren't partisan issues. Americans are struggling, and they're suffering, and they're hungry. And politics should not play a role when we have the ability to feed and support those who are in need. President Trump, we call on you to fund these waivers and approve these waivers immediately. At a time when 27% of California households with children face food insecurity, we're calling on the federal government to act now. Provide these waivers so that no child in California will go hungry. Families across California are caught in these tough times. They're caught in the middle. Families who depend on these benefits to get through every single day. We know that even this will not address all the economic strain that our families are feeling, but it is unconscionable that so many working families are heading into the holidays worrying about how they will afford their health care and how they will put food on the table. We will continue to do everything in our power to protect children and support families. And in that respect, I want to thank all of the staff at the California Department of Education who've been putting out guidance around the clock and answering questions around the clock, and all of our nutrition service directors. They've been very creative. I want to thank Kim Frenzel, who is here, who heads up our nutrition services department and has been working with all of the nutrition services directors across more than 1,000 districts to think creatively about how to align programs, how to leverage every single dollar to make sure that no child goes hungry. But let us now move to where you can hear from those who are working with our families directly and serving our students and our families every single day. And we're honored to have a number of folks here. I'd like to now call Leah Roman, who works in the before and after school care program. She is a before after school care food service worker at Ophir Elementary School in the Loomis Unified Elementary School District in Placer County, and a member of the Classified School Employees Association. Please welcome Leah. Thank you very much, Leah. Thank you.
Hello and good morning. My name is Leah Roman, and I am proud to be a food service worker and a member of the California School Employees Association. I work at Loomis Union School District, where I help prepare and serve meals to hundreds of students every day. I have been doing this work for 4 years because I believe every child deserves to be nourished, cared for, and ready to learn. I see firsthand what a difference a meal can make. When students come to school hungry, they struggle to focus. They cannot learn when their stomachs are hungry. For many of our students, these meals we serve at school are the most reliable food they get in a day. This is not something we guess at. This is something we see with our own eyes. Healthy meals help students stay alert, engaged, and ready to succeed. When we feed students, we are giving them more than food. We are giving them a chance to learn and to grow. This is why this waiver is so important. It gives school meals programs the flexibility to serve meals on non-school days, such as weekends, holidays, and even when schools are closed, so children do not go hungry. As food service workers, we are ready to do just that, to make sure every child has access to healthy meals, whether school is in session or not. We have shown during the pandemic that we can safely and effectively serve students meals when families need them the most. We know how to do this, and we are ready. No child in California should go hungry because of delays in federal programs or red tape. We are asking the USDA to approve this waiver so we can keep doing our jobs, feeding students and helping them learn. When we take care of the children's basic needs, we give them the foundation for everything else. That is what this is about, feeding children and helping them thrive.
Thank you. Thank you, Leah. Well-deserved applause for the wonderful statement provided. In California, we provide 2 free meals a day to any student, regardless of their background. And it is hard work. And as someone who tried just on one day to take a walk in your shoes and what you do every day, and I, just tried to hand the meals and say good morning. It was like I couldn't do those 2 things at the same time. And I went home and my back was hurting, and just thinking about the impact of what you do for our students. One more round of applause for Leah. Thank you. We have another champion here today, who is able to speak directly to the experience of our students and the needs that they have. Because Maria is there helping to meet that need every single day. Maria Flores is the food service lead at the Sacramento City Unified School District and a member of the Service Employees Union. Please welcome Maria as she comes forward to share.
Hello, everybody. My name is Maria Flores, and I work for food service lead at Sacramento City Unified School District. For 14 years, I have worked to prepare food for children so they don't go hungry at school. My union worked closely with Superintendent Thurmond and Governor Newsom to provide universal school for all children. I believe prevention hungry for children is the most important honorable thing to a person can do. I know the Superintendent Thurmond feels the same way. I wish every political believed like he and I do, but unfortunately, they don't. But other ways, President Trump and the Republican in Washington, D.C. wouldn't take away food stamps. And now, Republicans in Congress refuse to address our hunger crisis. This is not right. That's why I'm standing here I'm staying here today with Superintendent Thurmond, speak on behalf of our thousands of SEIU California school meal workers around the state. We are ready to get to work and field students. President Trump, please, allow us to do our job that we're asking for. It is the right thing to do. It is. You take off the opportunity to work for this nation. Now you want to take the little help you give us a family, Latinos, other people who came to this country to be better life. Don't do that, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Leah. Could we have another round of applause for Maria and Leah? I mean, you could say that they basically have said it all, right? All that we can do now is add a little bit more emphasis, but thank you for the very clear message that this is about helping children be healthy and be successful, and making the nexus between our free lunch programs and SNAP and the benefits that are provided, again, just lifts up the urgency of helping students when you can. This isn't an area where there just aren't any resources. This is something that we can do. And as someone who also grew up on the free lunch program, I'm very grateful to you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We now have the opportunity to hear from someone who works as a nutrition services director, and like Maria and Leah, they often are in the presence of students. They're figuring out how to make the budgets work and how to make the meals and how to decide on what is to be served. And we're honored today to have Suzanne Morales, who is the Nutrition Services Director at Placentia Yorba Linda School District and the President of the California School Nutrition Association. Please welcome her as she comes.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come speak. I think Superintendent Thurmond is correct. I think Leah and Maria have pretty much put the, all of the information right out in front of us. And the reality is that nutrition is a basic need for everyone, especially our young students who are, needing to be ready to learn. So I appreciate the opportunity. School Nutrition has been fortunate to provide both breakfast and lunch at no charge since the pandemic. And California has really stepped to the plate to ensure that those nutrition basics are met with our students. In addition to that, we have some of our schools in our most neediest areas are able to provide supper programs as well. And with an education component, are able to provide 3 meals a day for many of our students. And that basic nutrition net is in place. School meals are among the healthiest meals available. The Department of Education, the National Department of Education has said too that they are the most healthiest meals collectively that students can be provided. We adhere to strict nutritional guidelines and make sure that our students are fed healthy meals. We really encourage our parents and our partners to embrace school meals as they are available each school day. But this waiver will additionally help our families engage in nutrition for those students to be ongoing during the holiday season, time off from break, and so that children don't go hungry even in this holiday time. I encourage this waiver to pass through and to be funded so that directors like myself can come up with creative ways to feed students and continue their nutrition journey, as well as be ready to learn and be available for things as they prosper in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Director Morales, for your work at Placentia, Yorba Linda, and what you're doing on behalf of the whole state with our nutrition directors. I want to give an opportunity to hear from another partner, as you reference partners, the California Association of Food Banks, help families during these times. For those employees who are not being paid during the shutdown, oftentimes they are depending on a food bank. And certainly our families who have been facing the fear of whether or not they'll get their CalFresh benefits have used food banks. And food insecurity has been a big issue even before these circumstances, and our food banks have been there standing in the gap, collecting benefits collecting donations of dollars and food to support all those in need. Please welcome Josh Wright, who is the Director of Government Affairs at the California Association of Food Banks.
Hello, everyone. As of September 2024, more than 1 in 4 California households with children are food insecure, with deeper disparities for Black and Latino households. And it is well documented that children who grow up in food insecure households face significant lifelong health, social, and economic consequences. The current shutdown-induced SNAP crisis is exacerbating hunger in California and increasing the lines at food banks as families struggle to access the nutrition that they need. This underscores the importance of protecting and strengthening effective federal nutrition assistance programs for California's children and families. The California Association of Food Banks, along with our network of 42 food banks and more than 6,000 community-based organizations across the state, remains committed to ensuring that every Californian has access to essential nourishment. We are grateful to be surrounded by those who share the same commitment and are excited that the California Department of Education is taking this step to once again help California lead the nation in providing critical nutrition to all students. The grab-and-go summer meals offered during the COVID-19 pandemic were part of what led to a summer meal participation increase of 123% in July of 2020 and 101% in July of 2021 compared to 2019. This waiver will provide an opportunity for families to put food on the table, enabling children to learn, grow, and thrive. We appreciate Superintendent Thurmond and CDE for their efforts to ensure California's school children have access to food during this crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh. We also today, in addition to asking for this waiver, we would like to put out a call to those who might make donations that will get to the food banks and ultimately get to those 42 some locations that you talked about all across the state. We have a great nonprofit partner who has helped us when we've had to put out the call for support from everyday Americans and everyday Californians, whether it be response to disaster or the need for supplies for school or helping foster youth or other at-risk youth. And supplybank.org is a great place for doing that and has once again stepped up to help us on a statewide basis for those who are willing to donate to support our food banks all across the state. So without further ado, please welcome Mr. Benito Delgado Olson, who is the Executive Director at supplybank.org, who can tell you how Californians and others can contribute to support our food banks. Please welcome.
Well, thank you, Superintendent Thurmond, and thank you to the Association of Food Banks for all the great work you do, and especially to the workers for the work that you're doing for the kids and families across our state. My name is Benito Delgado Olson. I'm the Executive Director of the nonprofit supplybank.org. We work in pretty much all 58 counties in California. providing things like basic needs supplies, but as the superintendent stated, we have a long-standing partnership with the Department of Education when special needs arise. And this is certainly a unique need that we did not anticipate even a year ago, but we're here and we're happy to do our part and to be a partner and to support the good work that the food banks are doing all across California, as well as our workers in the schools. I'll just add, it's hard to add on top of what we've already heard, but going to California public schools myself, we were taught that cruel and unusual punishment is unconstitutional, and I can't really think of anything more cruel and unusual than to let kids and families go hungry. So this is a bit of an odd event, but you can go to supplybank.org, and we will put 100% of whatever is given to the food banks, and to make sure that the work that they do, that is more important now than ever, can continue unabated until hopefully this waiver is approved quickly. So thank you very much, Superintendent.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Benito. Thank you, supplybank.org, for 100% to the food banks. Thank you so much for your partnership. It's exciting to also call up another partner from, so you can hear from the Western Center on Law and Poverty. And I'm thinking back to now more than 10 years that I've had the good fortune to work with the folks at the Western Center, and almost every piece of legislation that I put my name on came from the Western Center. And led us to places like universal meals in the state, and led us to finding ways to help families that are struggling to come out of poverty, and the least among us. And today we have the good fortune to hear from Keely O'Brien, who is a policy association at the Western Center on Law and Poverty. Please welcome Keely O'Brien.
Thank you, Superintendent, and thank you everyone for being here. I'm Keely O'Brien, a policy advocate with the Western Center on Law and Poverty. We're here today because in a state and a nation as wealthy as ours, hunger is not a matter of scarcity, it's a policy choice. We have the power and the obligation to make sure that no child ever goes hungry. But right now, millions of families are living in fear about how they're going to put food on the table this holiday season. It's not because of a natural disaster or an economic collapse. It's because of a deliberate decision to delay and disrupt SNAP food benefits during the government shutdown. By filing these waivers, the superintendent and the California Department of Education is working hard to get the flexibility necessary to prevent children from going hungry after school or during the upcoming Thanksgiving holiday break. Let's be clear about what's happening. SNAP is a mandatory program. It's supposed to continue whether or not the government is shut down. When benefits are delayed or denied, 42 million people across this country face the threat of hunger, including 2 million children in California. These are not statistics, these are families. These are kids who sit next to our own kids in school, kids who depend on school meals to get through the day, and on SNAP to eat on weekends and during holidays. Families who were already facing an affordability crisis in California, and this shutdown has turned a difficult situation into a true crisis. Families across this country are being forced to make truly impossible choices. Do they pay for rent or buy groceries? Do they pay for medicine or buy food? For many parents, that's not hypothetical, it's a daily reality. Many parents will not be filling their own plates this week to avoid sending their kids to bed hungry. Meal sites are full, food banks are stretched thin, and many people on SNAP don't have the transportation they need to get to one. Many families who have always managed to get by are now facing real hunger for the first time ever. This isn't a policy failure, it's a moral failure. Any government that withholds food from children is not doing its job. The California Department of Education has filed these federal waivers and that would allow schools to use existing school nutrition funds more flexibly so that they can feed children even after school hours, on weekends, and through the holiday breaks. This is a common sense emergency solution that uses funds already in place. The workers are ready to do it. They want to. Everyone wants to help. So all we need is the federal approval. Today, as advocates, as parents, as workers, as community leaders, we are all calling on the federal government to do what's right and approve these waivers immediately. Feeding our children must come before partisan politics. Our message is simple. Children should be in classrooms, not in food lines. Parents should be planning meals, not skipping them.
California has shown leadership and compassion, and now we're asking the federal government to do the same. Here's our message to the federal government. The need is urgent, the funds are available, and no child should go hungry, so approve the waivers now. Thank you.
Thank you, Keely, and to the Western Center on Law and Poverty. I also want to call up our friends from End Child Poverty, and I was just thinking to myself how many bills I think I also put my signature on that came from End Child Poverty, and we're honored today to have the Senior Policy Associate, Yesenia Jimenez. Please welcome Yesenia.
Gracias, Superintendent. And thank you to everyone here who also refuses to accept hunger as our normal or acceptable in the richest country on earth. This moment right now calls for courage, compassion, and collective action. Every day we're hearing from our parents doing everything in their power to ensure their children don't go hungry. They're skipping meals, stretching a bag of groceries across a week, telling their kids they're not hungry so their children can eat first. Take Zuri Crawford's story, a young single mother in California juggling college, caring for her toddler, driving for Uber, and up until a few days ago, faced delays in her CalFresh and was unsure if her food benefits would come at all because of this federal shutdown. That kind of sacrifice and resilience, while necessary, should not be our new normal and is certainly not acceptable. We are also hearing from our Head Start programs who are suffering as their grants are not renewed, threatening both nutrition and education for our children. We know that even brief hunger does long-term damage to our children's growth and development. Going without food, the toxic stress, and the physical deprivation, it literally changes a child's brain chemistry. And as the superintendent mentioned, I also suffered through that hunger. My own mother was also on public benefits. We would not have survived our childhood without that assistance. So hunger steals potential, and that's something we must prevent. I want to thank Superintendent Thurmond and staff at CDE for stepping up in this vital moment and ensuring that our children do not go hungry at school and are there to learn, and that's what our schools are for. We urge the USDA to grant the waiver without delay so school nutrition professionals can use every tool available to feed our children. Our children's future shouldn't depend on whether the federal government is shut down or stays open. I urge Californians to keep showing up for one another like we always do and ensure our parents, educators, advocates, and neighbors until every child in California grows up cherished and free from hunger. Thank you so much for everything you're doing to make sure that it stays a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Yesenia, and for everyone at End Child Poverty and for bringing Zuri's experience into the conversation. Instead of having to worry about whether or not the meal is going to come, it sounds like Zuri would make one heck of a logistics manager. We should be thinking about how to hire Zuri into all kinds of positions, and so we appreciate you raising that. That concludes our formal speakers, unless the representative from the senator's office wanted to make a few remarks on behalf of the senator. We welcome you to do that if that's something that you all would like to do.
Sure.
Thank you. Come on up and please welcome our representative on behalf of our senator.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Daniel Washington, District Director for Senator Angelique Ashby. Thank you to Superintendent for organizing this and for staff. This is a crisis in the state and in California right now. Senator Ashby is a huge advocate for education across Sacramento. We stand with all of our partners here, our food and school staff, at this really critical time. Running a district office, we get calls from parents, from community leaders that are just at the end of their rope. And so I commend you for your effort, and we are with you in partnership to make this happen. So if there's anything we can continue to do, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, and we thank the senator for your willingness to help. And a lot of people helped to make this all happen. This all happened within, a moving timeline, tracking the legislation, tracking court actions, getting as many media folks who are here. There are many online, and our communications team, and Liz Sanders, thank you for that. Our government affairs team, Kim Rosenberger, thank you for doing that, and all the folks who've had a hand in putting this together. I'm going to turn it back to Liz to carry us through the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. At this time, we will open it for questions. We see no questions yet on Zoom. If there are questions in the room, we have time for questions. Okay. If there are no further questions on Zoom or in the room, members of the media are welcome to continue following up with CDE Communications team today. If there are any questions about the specific waivers, please reach out to communications@cde.ca.gov. We really appreciate everyone's time. We greatly appreciate our partners here today. Thank you all so much. We'll close this out.